Dominoes is a family of tile-based games played with gaming pieces. Each domino is a rectangular tile, usually with a line dividing its face into two square ends. Each end is marked with a number of spots, also called pips or dots, or as blank. The backs of the tiles in a set are indistinguishable, either blank or having some common design. The gaming pieces make up a domino set, sometimes called a deck or pack. The traditional European domino set consists of 28 tiles, also known as pieces, bones, rocks, stones, men, cards or just dominoes, featuring all combinations of spot counts between 0 and 6. A domino set is a generic gaming device, similar to playing cards or dice, in that a variety of games can be played with a set. Another form of entertainment using domino pieces is the practice of domino toppling. The earliest mention of dominoes is from Song Dynasty China, found in the text Former Events in Wulin by Zhou Mi. Modern dominoes first appeared in Italy during the 18th century, but they differ from Chinese dominoes in a number of respects, and there is no confirmed link between the two. European dominoes may have developed independently, or Italian missionaries in China may have brought the game to Europe. The name, domino, is probably derived from the resemblance to a kind of carnival costume worn during the Venetian carnival, often consisting of a black hooded robe and a white mask. Despite the coinage of the word, polyomino, as a generalization, there is no connection between the word, domino, and the number 2 in any language. The most commonly played domino games are domino whist, matador, and muggins, all fives. Other popular forms include Texas 42, chicken foot, concentration, double fives, and Mexican train. In Britain, the most popular league and pub game is fives and threes. Dominoes have sometimes been used for divination, such as bone throwing in Chinese culture and in the African diaspora.
In China, early domino tiles were functionally identical to playing cards. An identifiable version of Chinese dominoes developed in the 12th or 13th century. The oldest written mention of domino tiles in China comes from the Former Events in Wulin, i.e., the capital Hangzhou, written by the Yuan dynasty author Zhou Mi, who listed gambling plaques or tiles, as well as dice as items sold by peddlers during the reign of Emperor Xiaozong of Song. It isn't entirely clear that pupai here means domino tiles, but Andrew Lo argues that it plausibly does, as the same term is used 2 centuries later by the Ming author Lu Rong in a context that clearly describes domino tiles, in regard to a story of a suitor who won a maiden's hand by drawing out 4 winning pupai from a set. The earliest known manual written about dominoes is the Manual of the Xuan period written by Ku Yu, but some Chinese scholars believe this manual is a forgery from a later time. In the Encyclopedia of a Myriad of Treasures, Zhang Pu described the game of laying out dominoes as pupai, although the character for pu had changed, clarification needed, yet retained a similar pronunciation. Traditional Chinese domino games include Tian Gao, Pai Gao, Che Deng, and others. The 32-piece Chinese domino set, made to represent each possible face of 2 thrown dice and thus have no blank faces, differs from the 28-piece domino set found in the West during the mid-18th century. Chinese dominoes with blank faces were known during the 17th century. Each domino originally represented one of the 21 results of throwing 2 6-sided dice. One half of each domino is set with the pips from one die and the other half contains the pips from the second die. Chinese sets also introduce duplicates of some throws and divide the tiles into 2 suits, military and civil. Chinese dominoes are also longer than typical European ones. The Domino Players by Friedrich Sturm. The early 18th century saw the game of domino surfacing in Italy, before rapidly spreading to Austria, southern Germany and France. The game became a fad in France in the mid-18th century. The name domino does not appear before that time, being first recorded in 1771, in the Dictionnaire de Trévoux. There are 2 earlier recorded meanings for the French word domino, one referring to the masquerades of the period, derived from the term for the hooded garment of a priest, the other referred to crude and brightly colored woodcuts on paper formerly popular among French peasants. The way by which this word became the name of the game of domino remains unclear. From France, the game was introduced to England by the late 1700s, purportedly brought in by French prisoners of war. It appears in American literature by the 1860s and variants soon spring up. In 1889, it was described as having spread worldwide, but nowhere is it more popular than in the cafés of France and Belgium. From the outset, the European game was different from the Chinese one. European domino sets contain neither the military-civilian suit distinctions of Chinese dominoes nor the duplicates that went with them. Moreover, according to Michael Dummett, in the Chinese games it is only the identity of the tile that matters, there is no concept of matching. Instead, the basic set of 28 unique tiles contains 7 additional pieces, 6 of them representing the values that result from throwing a single die with the other half of the tile left blank, and the 7th domino representing the blank blank, 0-0, combination. Subsequently 45-piece, double 8, sets appeared in Austria and, in recent times, 55-piece, double 9, and 91-piece, double 12, sets have been produced. The earliest game rules in Europe describe a simple block game for 2 or 4 players. Later French rules add the variant of domino à la pêche, fishing domino, an early draw game as well as a 3-hand game with a pool. The first scoring game to be recorded was fives, all fives, are cribbage dominoes which appeared in 1863 and borrowed the features of scoring for combinations as well as the cribbage board from the card game of cribbage. In 1864, the American Hoyle describes 3 new variants: Muggins, simply fives with the addition of another cribbage feature, the Muggins rule, Bergen, and Rounce, alongside the block game and draw game. All are still played today alongside games that have sprung up in the last 60 years such as 5-Up, Mexican Train, and Chickenfoot, the last 2 taking advantage of the larger domino sets available. The game is still played internationally, recognized as an ingrained cultural activity within the Caribbean, but also popular with the Windrush generation, who have Caribbean heritage, in the UK. In the U.S. state of Alabama, it is illegal to play dominoes on Sunday within the state.